Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of New on Music Row. I'm your host, Chris Miles, and we're going to be diving into a massive week for Nashville. We've got 5 heavy hitters on the playlist today for the 5 picks of the week, and I'm also going to be breaking down the latest from a lot of other artists and introducing you to some up-and-coming artists as well. Grab a drink, settle in, and let's talk about the songs that are going to be dominating your playlist this week right here on the Rise Network. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of New on Music Row. Did I scare you a little bit there? I felt like I was a little overpowering there. I apologize for that. But hey, it's because I'm excited. We've got some heavy hitters this week for the 5 picks of the week. Some stuff I think you're going to be excited about. And of course, I've got some really interesting up-and-coming artists to talk to you about and some interesting stuff going on in the history of country music as well. All on this week's episode. But first, let's get into the 5 picks from last week. We kicked it off with Luke Combs, Sleepless in a Hotel Room. And of course, I don't think anybody is going to be surprised by these numbers. 2.5 million streams last week alone. And if you need me to introduce you to Luke Combs, then clearly you're new to country music because I think even the people that don't listen to country music know who Luke Combs is. Up next, we had Jason Aldean and Her Favorite Color. About 900,000 streams for that song. That's going to be one of those that I think are going to be I think that's going to hit home with more of like the working class, so to speak, because obviously her favorite color is gray. And, you know, that's from all the dust and the dirt he kicks up, right? Last week I talked about Megan Maroney, and I think I said the name of the song was Wish, and I that's an error. It should have been Wish I Didn't. And, of course, that song hit 2.2 million streams, but we're talking about Megan Maroney here. So, I mean, are we really surprised by those numbers? Not at all. Then we had Braxton Keith with I Ain't Trying, and he had a pretty good week, 372,000 streams. If you haven't checked that track out yet, do it. It's on the playlist. You can find it right there on Spotify. It is called New on Music Row. Every week I put in all of the songs we talk about for the 5 picks and throw in some extra stuff as well, plus any of the artists we feature in our new Rising Star Spotlight. And then also when I end the show with the pick of the week, if there's an artist or a song that I end with there, I'll throw you some stuff there as well for your listening pleasure. So make sure you check that out. And then check out Baby You Do by him and A Little Bit Closer. Those are my 2 favorites from him as well. Last but not least, we had Ty Myers' Message to You, and you all got the message there. 1 million streams last week. And, of course, that song released last Friday as well. Ty just making a name for himself. He's climbing that ladder rung by rung. And you know what? Message to You is pretty clearly showing that you guys pay attention to him. If you haven't checked him out yet, make sure you check out Come On Over and Through a Screen, some songs that we featured here on the 5 picks of the week for previous episodes as well. And, of course, check out Message to You. And like I said, you can check them all out in the Spotify playlist. It's right there, New on Music Row. So let's head into the 5 picks of the week. Like I said, it is a powerhouse week, and some of the stuff came out earlier in the week. Boots Off by Jon Pardi is leading the kickoff here, and this is the summer song that I think we're all going to need. It's already making waves. It came out last year on his latest album, so you've probably heard it already, but now it's making its way to the airwaves. Of course, Jon Pardi from Dixon, California. You probably know him for songs like Friday Night Heartbeat, or Friday Night Heartbreaker, sorry, Last Lonely Night. My favorite song, Tequila Little Time, because, you know, it's got that dad joke play on words there, right? Mr. Saturday Night's another great song by him. Heartache Medication, Dirt on My Boots, Your Heart or Mine, and then, of course, Heartache on the Dance Floor. I mean, this guy just keeps charting and knocking out hit after hit after hit, and that's why he's on the 5 picks of the week this week. Up next, we had Jackson Dean. I featured this song as a weekly pick, I think back in October of last year. The song's called Make a Liar. It's finally making its way to the airwaves, and you know what? I can't be happier that you guys are going to be able to listen to it. Jackson Dean, of course, from Odenton, Maryland. And most of you guys know him for Don't Come Looking, Heavens to Betsy, Fearless, and Train. All great songs from him as well. Then we're featuring a gal from Taylor Mill, Kentucky, who really needs no introduction. Carly Pearce is going to be taking us to church. Well, actually, she's going to be the church girl this week. That's the new song from Carly Pearce coming out today. Make sure you check out some other stuff from her. We Don't Fight Anymore with Chris Stapleton. Chris Stapleton is a great song. And then, of course, I Hope You're Happy Now. What He Didn't Do, Every Little Girl, Every Little Thing, and then Never Wanted to Be That Girl. Another great song for her as well. Truck on Fire is pretty good too, if you haven't checked out Carly Pearce yet. Next, we have Parker McCullum with Big Old Fancy. Parker's from Conroe, Texas. He's a little bit on the newer side, but he's got some great hits out there. Pretty Heart's probably one of the songs you know from him. Handle on You and To Be Loved by You, also great songs for him to check out if you haven't checked them out yet. Burn It Down's one of my favorite from him. And then What Kind of Man as well. Check all of those out. And then last but not least, the last 5 pick of the week, or the fifth pick of the 5 picks of the week, I guess I should say. What If We Don't, from Ashley McBryde. We featured her last year. I think it was in August, if I remember correctly. Rattlesnake Preacher was the title of the song that I told you guys to check out. She, of course, is from Waldron, Arkansas. She's known for Light On in the Kitchen, One Night Standards, a little dive bar in Dalonga. And then also Never Wanted to Be That Girl. That's the duet she does with Carly Pearce. We talked about that because they're both on the 5 picks of the week this week. Kind of interesting how that all ended up, huh? Pretty cool, actually. All right, so let's take a look at the 5 picks of the week. Jon Pardi's Boots Off. Jackson Dean's Make a Liar, Carly Pearce Church Girl, Parker McCullum Big Old Fancy, and last, but certainly not least, Ashley McBryde with What If We Don't. Again, like I said, they're all going to be on the playlist right there on Spotify for you to check out. You can listen to them one after the other. And, tell me what you think. Leave me the comments wherever you listen to it. We're available on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify as well. And, of course, always looking to hear about artists that you're checking out and listening to. And speaking of that, that's going to take us into the Rising Star Spotlight of the week. Carter Faith was suggested to me by a couple of fans out there, said I should check her out, and I did. And you know what? I got to tell you what, she's got a smoky resonance in her voice, and she blends a lot of traditional country with folk and rock influence as well. I can see why you guys like her. And, she's got some interesting things going on for her as well. She's from Davidson, North Carolina. Some great songs out there already. Greener Pasture is the one that I really love by her, and you guys do as well, too. Last time I looked, I think it had like 27 million streams already. That song is just doing really well for her. Betty is another great song from her as well. If I Had Never Lost My Mind. I think that's the song that a lot of you, actually, I don't think I know. A lot of you said that's the song that you kind of like keyed in with her on, and that's what helped you connect to her as well. I also like Lasso and Grudge. And then this past Christmas, so just, a couple weeks ago now, I think we're like in the second week of January, third week, right? She did a duet with Jimmy Fallon called Ugly Sweater, which is absolutely hilarious. And she does a really great job. Really compliments Jimmy on that song as well. So check that out if you haven't already. I think we might throw that Ugly Sweater song on there as a bonus, just because I love that song so much. Now, Carter Faith did get a start in music pretty early. She's a self-taught musician, and she began writing songs at about 16. Now, she does admit that the single most impatient person in the world is her. And she uses the mantra, be where you are, to help stay present and grateful as well. Now, believe it or not, she actually was a shy performer, shy kid before. Even though she's got great success right now, she identifies as being a shy kid before she found her voice in her hometown's music scene as well. She does have a lot of inspirations. She said her love for music was nurtured during her childhood car rides with her grandfather, where they would listen to cassette tapes of artists like Tammy Wynette and Patsy Cline. She also lists Taylor Swift, Casey Musgraves, and Lana Del Rey as influences that she enjoys as well. She's also got some big farm aspirations. She wants to one day have her own house on several acres where she can raise goats, pigs, chickens, and along with pet dogs and cats as well. And not only does she have a country music career, she might have a silver screen career. This year, she's set to make her film debut in the Netflix thriller Heartland alongside Jessica Chastain, so you can check that out as well. Now, since her 2020 debut, she's performed over a dozen times at the Grand Ole Opry. She's also opened for stars like Keith Urban and Willie Nelson, and she says that if she ever had a chance to live her ultimate dream would be to have a meet and greet, like a dinner kind of thing, if you will, with Dolly Parton, who she views as the epitome of hard work. So this week's Rising Star Spotlight is Carter Faith. Again, thank you to a couple of you guys. Well, I shouldn't say guys and gals who mentioned her to me and said, hey, check her out and give her a listen. And, you should feature her on the show. Well, there you go. Now she's featured on the show. So again, thank you guys so much. Check out Greener Pasture. Like I said, two of my favorites from her, Lasso and Grudge as well. And that is Carter Faith, the Rising Star Spotlight of the Week. Time to jump into Today in Country Music History, of course, for January 23rd. Now, born on this day in 1978 in Cedarburg, Wisconsin, so not too far up north there, I don't know if we can say because I think that's a Minnesota thing. I don't think that's a Wisconsin thing, but there you go. Anyway, Josh Thompson was born on this day in 1978. He scored a big hit in 2009 with Beer on the Table from his debut album, Way Out There. He's also written songs for Jason Aldean, Blake Shelton, Justin Moore, Brad Paisley, Brett Young, Morgan Wallen, and Darius Rucker. So this guy has a ton of credit. Probably more so on the songwriting side than we even know. There's probably more songs out there that we don't know that he wrote. So happy birthday to you, Josh Thompson, today, born on this date, January 23rd, 1978. Taking a look at this on this date in country music history, the theme song for the Beverly Hillbillies show, The Ballad of Jed Clampett, which was by Barry Scoggins, was accompanied by bluegrass musicians, Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. It was number one on the U.S. country charts today, 1963. And during the original run of the Beverly Hillbillies, special lyrics were written and inserted into the closing theme. And then, of course, it had some regular advertising sponsors as well. Believe it or not, Kellogg's cereal and Winston cigarettes. What a combination that is. Hey, kids, eat your cereal and smoke your cigarettes at the same time. Yeah, anyway. All right, moving on. 1976, C.W. McCall was number one on the country chart for his novelty song, We Got Ourselves a Convoy. The song itself was largely responsible for starting a nationwide citizens band radio craze, and the song Black Bear Round, in turn, popularized the now infamous road itself, along with its "You don't have to be crazy to drive this road, but it helps" sign. So that was 1976, of course. We got ourselves a convoy. 1981, Alabama released Old Flame, which became the group's third number one single on the Billboard Hot Country Singles chart. The track was third in a string of 21 consecutive number one singles in as many releases, a string that spanned from 1980 to 1987. Moving ahead to 2015, Jason Aldean was number one on the country album chart with his sixth studio album, Old Boots, New Dirt, and his second album to reach number one. There were four singles from that album, Burning It Down, which reached the top of the U.S. Hot Country Singles chart. Just Getting Started, Tonight Looks Good on You, and Gonna Know We Were Here, all on that album. Old Boots, New Dirt. Check it out if you haven't already. Of course, number one on the country album chart on this date in 2015. And last but not least, I think this one is pretty cool. Plus, it features one of the artists from the 5 picks of the week. So on this date in 2023, Gabby Barrett's Pick Me Up, Lainey Wilson's Heart Like a Truck, which I've told you before, my previous PD for one of the radio stations I used to work at was like, that song's never going to make it. Well, look at Lainey Wilson now. Anyway, and then Carly Pearce's What He Didn't Do all reached number 4, number 8, and number 10, respectively, at U.S. Country Radio. This, of course, measured by Media Base. Now, this would mark the first time since 2020 that 3 solo women were charted in the top 10 simultaneously. So that's on this date in 2023. That's a look at country history. At this date in country music history, of course, like I said before, and I'll say it again, if you've got a birthday shout-out you want me to give to somebody, feel free. Hit me up in the comments. Go to Chris_Miles_DJ on Instagram. You can send me a DM there as well, and we can get featured on a show for you. All right, moving on to the weekly pick. Jordan Searcy is my weekly pick for the week. He's from Baton Rouge. He's got an indie pop feel, but some of his stuff has got a lot of good story writing to it. He tells a lot of great stories, and he's promising some new material coming out this year. I think it's going to have a little bit of a country flair to it, and I want you to check him out. Great songs to check out from him. Love and War in Your 20s. What a great title. All right. Love and War in Your 20s, really? Did you know all about Love and War in Your 20s? I certainly didn't. Fire, another great song from him. Molly, and then Friendship with a question mark. All great songs to check out from him. We'll put a couple of those in the track list for this week for new on Music Row as well. He's got some interesting heritage. He was born in Baton Rouge, raised in Alabama, and he grew up in a musical family where his mother was a vocal teacher and his father was a worship leader. He knew by the age of 5 that he wanted to work in the music industry and began performing cover songs at local bars at the age of 14. He is an avid skateboarder and surfer. He often searches for skate parks while he's on tour to loosen up his legs between shows. He is a prolific songwriter. By 2022, he had written over 1,000 songs and amassed more than 51 million streams. And then during the pandemic, the 2020 pandemic, he converted his touring van into his home. And he drove around California coast to coast to write music as well. Not only was he on The Voice, he actually gained national recognition in 2014 on season 7 of NBC's The Voice. He was a member of Pharrell Williams' first team. He's also collaborated a lot with Ben Rector, frequently, as a matter of fact. He co-wrote hits like It Would Be You and then Wonderful World. And he's got some film credits as well. So our Rising Star Spotlight and now our Pick of the Week both have some film credits. Kind of cool. He wrote and he featured the original song in colors for the 2024 film Harold and the Purple Crayon. So the title of the song is Colors, and that was for the film Harold and the Purple Crayon. Check that out as well. And then in retrospect, he likes to joke around in his songs about having performed at the 2016 Republican National Convention. He opened up for Lee Brice, and he references in one of his tracks Favorite Days as well. You can check that out and tell me what you think of it. Coming up as far as music goes, got a couple of great shows coming up in a couple of weeks. We're not there just yet. But if there is a local artist that you're interested in, let me know. I'll check him out, and maybe we can feature him on the show as well. So that is the show for the week. Hope you all have had a wonderful week. I enjoy you guys watching the program. Can't do this without you. And again, so much more coming up. I'm going to have some great stuff for you all lined up, coming up a little bit later this year. Keep it locked here for the latest and greatest in country music and, of course, the 5 picks of the week, because you can only get it here on the Rise Network. I'm Chris Miles, and this is New on Music Row. And until I see you next time, I'll see you on the flip side.